Three balms, same category, but totally different products. Which one is actually for you? Now, very often in the beauty space, whenever you see a product has a remotely similar packaging or presentation, name, two balms, both in compacts, everyone immediately goes, oh, it's a dupe, it's the same thing. But that's not always correct. So today we're going to be using a comparison chart to compare these three different products. We are going to be looking at the finish, the skin type, the key ingredients, the wear time, and the coverage level. And hopefully within these three categories, you are now able to make the decision as to which one of these products is going to be for you, or none of them are going to be for you. So we will decide together. Now, my skin is already prepped and we are ready to go into our applications. And the first product that we are going to be trying today, I'm actually going to go from finish, like how you go from lightest to darkest. I'm going to go from most emollient to most matte. Our first balm is going to be the It Cosmetics. This is the Sheer Tint Face Balm. The formula of this is a solid serum balm, so more like a solid version of a tinted moisturizer, and this retails for $34. It is described as a 92% skincare serum. So I have two shades in this balm. This is shade medium neutral number 305, and this is medium tan warm number 320. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 305. And for the purposes of our applications, I have three foundation brushes that are pretty much the same density and application style. They have slightly different shapes, but the shape doesn't alter the application. It's the density and types of bristles and stuff like that. So these are close enough that I don't think that one of these is going to give one of the products an advantage, if that makes sense. Now, the It Cosmetics Balm is geared towards mature skin. They do have that within their marketing, although anyone can wear it. The target market is for mature skin, which is why this is probably the glowiest and most sheer and lightweight of the three balms. So the finish of the It Cosmetics Balm, it is glowy and dewy. So first we are going to do our application, and then we're going to talk about the comparison chart that we're going to make with all of the information needed. Okay, so I probably should have used my finger. I tapped my brush in there, and I definitely should not have done that. Look at how loaded my brush is. Now, whenever you buy products, they usually have a layer that's almost like a seal over the top. So you kind of have to break it a little bit to then get through to the product. So I did give it a little push, thinking in doing that, but this does not have that. Again, this is the skincare claims are coming through. Okay, so I'm going to, on the back of my hand, take off a lot of that. That is absolutely too much. And then I will oh, that shade looks good. Okay, so, and I will just continue picking up from this, okay, because we have enough for like 12 people right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just begin applying this. Wear time, it doesn't make any claims on the wear time in terms of foundation lasting, but it does offer a 24-hour hydration claim. Again, this is a skincare heavy product, so they're basically telling you it's skincare with tint. As I apply it, I will kind of be able to see, just because of my expertise, I will be able to see like how long of a wear that I think I can get from it. Now note, I am oily combination skin, combination dehydrated, so it will be different depending on your skin type. And then I do have a fresh cluster of hyperpigmentation on my chin just in time for us to do this comparison. So we will also see what the coverage level looks like and how it covers this hyperpigmentation. And now on my chin, let's see how that does. Okay, so this is the It Cosmetics Balm we have on one side, and this is my bare skin. And if we look at the comparison between both sides, it's really just a slight difference in color. I feel like the texture looks exactly the same. I don't see a change in texture at all, so definitely dewy. Definitely sheer, as it says, it does say that it's a sheer balm, but pleasantly surprised. I think that I did get a pretty decent diffusion on the hyperpigmentation on my chin. It is not buildable. I mean, I can try and force it a little bit, but that is gonna put us into a cakey texture, and I can kind of see that already because not every product is made to build. So when you try to do that, then it really just congeals and just kind of sits there because it's not made to stack. You will see the difference because it would just simply click. Layer, layer, it will click into place. When it starts just looking gunky, that's it telling you, please stop trying to make fetch happen, because nobody said to do that. Okay, so we don't blame the product. Let's set. Let's set. Let me get a powder. I'm back at the table. Now for setting, I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I will use it for all of our foundations of our comparison. Same brush, my fluffy powder brush. Take off excess. And I also did put a little bit of it under my eyes, just so that we have something to even out. This is it powdered, and this is Clean Skin. So very skin-like, very sheer. It wears really well. This is definitely for the folks who want a skin tint, is a solid skin tint. So really it gives just a nice wash of color to make the natural skin look a little bit more polished, a little bit more elevated. Definitely something that is great for everyday wear, and honestly even for a special event. Special events don't always mean full coverage. Really the goal is to just make your skin be as perfected as possible. So if you're someone that doesn't necessarily need a lot of coverage in terms of hyperpigmentation, I think that this will also do a pretty decent job with reducing redness. I have a little bit of redness, a little pinkness that you can see, and it did do a good job of just kind of knocking that back. And It Cosmetics is also kind of based on that. That is their brand ethos on covering redness. So I do feel like the pigments in it, even though its sheer, will do a really good job on that. Hyperpigmentation, the darker spots, slight evening, as we can see, slight blurring, but you can still see it. For me, it doesn't bother me, but keep that in mind. So let's break down this foundation into the chart. So the finish, glowy and dewy. The skin type that this is for, I would more say from normal to dry skin. Definitely if you are mature skin, I think that you would really love this. If you're at the point where you feel like foundations just aren't sitting nicely on your skin, then this is something that is worth trying. Now, wear time, it doesn't give a specific claim on how long you can wear this for. When we say wear time, we're talking about the longevity of the product. They do give a 24-hour hydration time, so your skin constantly stays hydrated throughout the day, which is a great thing. A lot of people are just quite simply dehydrated right now. Now, with that said, based on my expertise, I would give this a good 3 hours of wear time, especially if you have normal to drier skin. If you're oily and you still want to try it, you might get a good 2.5. Depending on how you set it and how you layer other things with it. If you do like additional concealers, and you have concealers and different products sitting on top, all of those are going to help to increase the longevity of the base that's underneath it. So your setting sprays, those are other variables that can definitely help with wear time. So just on its own, just raw dog the product, I would say a good 3-hour wear. Coverage level, sheer, not buildable coverage, so keep that in mind. And the key ingredients, we have glycerin, we have vitamin E, we have collagen peptides, so all very hydrating and glow producing. That will really help to plump the skin, keep it plump throughout the day, which helps with the texture and overall appearance of the skin. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Balm. The formula of this is a balm to powder formula, and this retails for $44. So previously we had a solid serum balm formula, so there was no conversion within that formula. It's just one thing, a solid sheer balm. This has a change in the formula, so we go from balm and we set to a powder finish. And in this, I have shade 2. The shades looked very interesting. So hopefully this works. Hopefully this works. Even if it doesn't, we'll still continue and focus on the texture. So I have a new brush, and let's go ahead in with our application. Now I am going in with my brush, and you can see immediately the difference between this and our It Cosmetics. Remember how deep, open the right one, how deep the brush went into the It Cosmetics, and we barely have a dent on the Laura Mercier. So this is again just a very lightweight texture, and this is a more dense, more solid formula. The product as we put it on, because that, can y'all see the fly? There. Oh, it's a gnat. It's raining. It's been raining for like 2 days. And I was trying to be aesthetic. I opened my door and was sipping tea, and they all walked inside like they live here. And I'm like, why did I do that? And then the light, they're like, oh, it's a disco, it's a party. So they're going to my light. I can't, please. Anyway, I digress. Okay. So I did clean my face off, by the way, so we're starting from fresh skin again, and we will still do the one side application so that we can compare, and you really get to see what the finish is when you compare it to bare skin. So I will be keeping that half application. Okay, the color is a little bit too light. I did try the 3 and the 3 was too dark, so I need like a 2.7. Okay, and then let's see on hyperpigmentation, we're doing the entire chin for that, mostly because I feel like over here has more of the dark spots. Ooh. Oh. How is it looking for you guys? Because it's giving casket ready over here. It's giving casket fresh. Or is it just me? Am I the casket? I don't know. So this is our Mercier Tinted Balm. We have it here on the side, and I tapped a little bit under my eyes just to give myself a little under eye coverage. I'm not adding any additional products to this entire comparison video because we want to learn about this product. We want to see this product, see how it works, because when you start adding other things, you're altering the results, right? So we're just keeping it true. And this is the application. This is Clean Skin. Now with this, I will say I had to really go in with my brush to get product up, and my brush is still, you know, it has the color in it, but it's empty, you know, like it's not gunked up with product. So I was like swirling, pick the product up to get onto my skin. So I don't know, I feel like it feels empty. I'm not sure. I feel like you could go through this quickly. I feel like that's kind of like a little sign of it, like there's just not enough product on there. I feel like the way I'm using it is when something is almost done, so I'm not sure, so keep that in mind. I could be wrong, usually I'm not, but definitely see a difference in finish from our first balm product from it. This I would say is a more satin finish. This is also described as natural matte. I do believe that is how Laura Mercier describes this, as a natural matte or a luminous matte finish, which is, how can you be luminous and matte at the same time? But the marketing, okay, the marketing, but that's what it is. So it sits in that middle of dewy and matte. It is right in the middle. I call this satin. I call this a skin-like finish. So there's some reflective property to the skin when it's done, but it is not overall reflective. Now, technically, as a balm to powder formula, this does dry down. Now, the thing is, even with that technology, it doesn't just suddenly poof and become powder. But what it does mean is that it doesn't, after you apply it, it doesn't look wet, right? It has a way that it sets and it no longer looks like a damp product on the skin. The IT Cosmetics, that sheer tinted balm, it just remains as it is on the skin. It doesn't sink in, it doesn't evaporate a little bit. Like, and actually when I was applying it, it felt very cooling on the skin. That coolness, that wetness remains. So this there is some creamy, there is some wetness as you're applying it, but as it sits on the skin, it sets down into that powdered texture, right? So it's not like a literal suddenly it becomes powder, but it's that transition in the finish of the product as it sits on your skin. So we added a little bit of powder. It's always good to just add a little bit of powder to the surface of your makeup, so it just takes off that surface kind of tacky layer and improves the longevity. Oh wow. Little bristle. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So this is our application side. This is clean skin, and let's just have a look at that. And I did tap in on my hyperpigmentation a little bit more to see how it builds up. I got a little bit of build. I tried to push for more coverage, and then it got a little bit cakey. I'm not sure if you can see it right there, but that was me kind of trying to push it. Just, you know how buildable is buildable, and it was a little buildable. It was just a little bit. But this is skin. Again, this is skin. I wish I had the teensy bit of warmth to this color. Like it's so neutral, it's slightly gray. I don't necessarily need dark, because if I'm like this, you're like, okay, you know, it's okay. There's just a little more life that is needed in the undertone of the color, because even though we're neutral, we're not dead, there's still life force within it. So a lot of times brands kind of, the end result of neutral is there's this grayness to it, you know, because they're like, oh well, no, any color is too orange, too warm, anything is too red, but we need a little, because that's what neutrality really is. You can be either way depending on the day of the week. Sometimes I just be looking green, I'm looking really olive. Other times I'm looking a little bit yellow. And then certain days I'm just right in the middle, right? So there's such a nuance that's needed within neutral shades, just like my olive girlies, because we're close to olive, because we have olive tendencies. It is just not at the forefront. It's in the back, but it's there, you know? But this is lovely. This is a really nice finish. Really nice. Can you see, did you also go wow the way I went wow? Because let me tell you what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing just like before, it looks like my skin, but it's polished. You know, it's polished, the little bit of powder, the texture of my skin, I can really see the difference, especially on the forehead and like right here where I have more pore situations, like on my nose. It's not invisible, my Botox has worn off, but I think that looks fantastic. I think this would look really, really great on camera too. I may actually explore more of the shades to see what they're giving, because this is probably something that I may add to my kit, because I think that this finish would just look absolutely amazing on television. I really do. Just looking at that. Okay, so let's add this into our comparison chart. The finish of this, it is a natural matte finish, which means that we get a little bit more blur to the texture of the skin because it is not completely reflective, which can emphasize things like pores and texture. Wear time, Laura Mercier gives us a 12-hour wear time. I would give it 8 on oily skin. And that's a day, you know, that's a day. That's a work hour day. And then if you're going any further, a touch-up will give you that extra to add up to 12, okay? For your nighttime, do a little touch-up and then you get your 12 for oily skin. But in general, I don't see a 12-hour claim as being unrealistic. And the skin type that this is for, I would say that this is good for all skin types. Usually when you formulate something really well that works for oily skin, it can work for all skin types really well. That's the key. You don't go too far, so then it is not enough for dry skin. But I do feel like this would still sit nice on dry skin that is well prepped. So generally all skin types, main focus, oily skin type. For coverage level, the brand gives us a sheer to medium coverage, and I would leave it at that. Depending on your application tool, you could alter that coverage using your fingers. Will always give you a more sheer coverage. Sponges to give you just about the same coverage as using your fingers. Brush gives you a more full coverage, and then you can build a little bit. Still at medium, let's call it building to medium plus. It's not buildable to full coverage. Trying to do that is where you're going to end up in a cakey base situation. The key ingredients in this, there are some similarities to the first one. We have collagen peptides again, we have vitamin E. This has a transparent mica, which is a part of that powder formula, that cream to powder formula, and part of that blurring property in the product. And this is also talc free, which a lot of cosmetics are becoming right now. So if that's important to you, this is talc free. Okay, I'm just gonna take this off. This really doesn't look bad at all. Even the color, like it kind of settled a little better. And I do think that if I finish my makeup with bronzer and blush and all of that stuff, that, you know, it will be fine. And last but certainly not least, we have from Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm to Powder for Face and Eyes. So I do have 2 shades here. I have 3.5 and 4. Head in with 4. And we're just gonna get started on our application again. And we're just gonna go ahead and apply. Now, personally, we have Danessa to thank for all of the balms that are making their way downtown, okay? All of the balms that are making their way downtown, walking fast, faces bombing. We have Danessa to thank for that. And this is actually really the most unique formula out of all of them. And we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna put a little bit on my eyes, and then let us look at the hyperpigmentation coverage. Okay, so this is our application side. This is clean skin. Let's just have a look. Now, the reason why this is, I would say, still the most special formula out of them all, you can look at my skin and you can see how glowy it is. So this applies like the It Cosmetics. It's very soft. It is very emollient in texture upon application. And then it becomes that long wear powder formula. Notice this is called a blurring balm powder. So this actually can be used on top of another foundation to set it into place. So now for me, I have had actors and actresses who don't want, I don't know if I can say actress anymore, but please forgive me if I'm not supposed to, but they don't want powder on their skin on camera. Okay, they don't want no powder, so you're gonna figure it out however other way. Okay, so using this as a powder, pressing it on top of your foundation or whatever it is you're using, it can be used in that way, right? It goes through a setting process. So as it wears, it sets into that texture, right? So you can press over. Now, initially this came out as untinted and everyone was using it as a primer underneath, and people are calling this as a primer. Y'all already know how I feel about primers. Y'all already know how I feel about primers, okay? Now, yes, it can be used to smooth the pores, to blur the skin. Personally, I think that it should be done on top. I've tried a few ways with different clients. Some did not like it on the top. They wanted it underneath the foundation and then used a regular powder. Nothing went wrong. They just didn't want to do that. But I don't think that a lot of people realize what this formula can do. The thing is with Danessa's products, they really are, they're all like blank checks. Write in what you want to do with it. Just write in what you want to do. It is not, here's $5 and that's what you get and all you get. You can do so much with her products, and that's what makes it special. So do we have a dupe of this? No. No, we do not. Do we have 3 awesome products? Yes. Okay, so I'm blabbing. Y'all know I blab so that we can set, right? So you see, I don't know if you've noticed, the glow is knocking back a little bit as it sits and sets into my skin. The coverage on the hyperpigmentation is fantastic. I added a little bit to see how buildable we can get it without getting cakey, as we experienced with the others, and it looks really great. It does. Okay, so I am going to set this with a little bit of our Hourglass powder. Now, if you did want to use this on top of another foundation, I would just do the transparent, the translucent color. It's just clear. I would use that to go over another color product because unless, you know, you had something and you needed to shift the color a little bit or whatever, or if that's what you have, use it, it's fine. I just personally would use that clear as a setting product. Wow. Wow. Okay, so we just added a little bit of powder. Let's see what that looks like. I feel like the texture that you can see, how blurring it is is very obvious on my forehead. Even though this isn't an extended wear test, all three looked pretty decent under my eyes, I will say. Usually putting foundation under my eyes is a hit or miss for me. It works for a lot of people. It's not a right or wrong thing. You absolutely can do it. It doesn't always work for me personally under my under eyes. So I do like just using a specific concealer product. But I will say all three so far have looked pretty decent under my eyes. Obviously, like I said, my Botox has worn off, so I'm back to all the squinting, okay? All the squinting. So there's gonna be some bit of movement throughout the day. I already know that. But overall, the texture, like once you apply, the texture that you see is immediately like yes or no. So I feel like all of them have been okay under my eyes. Let's look at the clear, not the clear, the skin, the bare side. My brush went a little wide, so it's really just here. I'm so sorry. Maybe I can fix that so it's more clear. The texture. So let's put her on our comparison chart. So the finish of this is a matte finish. It starts off looking glowy because of the emollient texture of the product, and then it sets into the skin as a matte finish. Personally, I would still call this a satin finish. If I'm saying something is just matte, it's just, you know, it's that dry matte texture, right? This to me is a beautiful natural matte satin finish. I would still give it that. Now for wear time, Danessa doesn't give us a specific claim outside of all day wear. And part of that is the technology of the Upsolite ingredient that is in it. And what that does is it absorbs oil and your oil and sebum and sweat throughout the day. So because you have something in it that's kind of pulling away what breaks down our makeup in the first place, it's our sweat and it's our sebum that breaks down our makeup throughout the day. So because she has this ingredient that is battling right behind here, your pigment is able to just sit and do what it needs to do. So then you end up with that longer wear of your product. And I have used this on set before and I've gotten a good 12-hour day from it. And we just had to kind of fix some things after a nap and lunch. The skin type for this is going to be all skin types with a specific focus to oily combo skins. That Upsolite technology, again, because that is battling the excess sebum and sweat on the skin. It is an excellent choice, I think, out of all three for our oily skin types. But again, any skin type can really actually wear this well. The coverage level, I would say this is a medium buildable coverage. You can build this to, I would say you could build this to a full coverage. I think that would be a lot, but it can be done if you need it to be done. So I would very easily say medium coverage, medium buildable coverage. And the key ingredients, we have an olive oil derived squalene, we have silica, and we have that we previously spoke of, the Upsolite technology, which is from my research, a magnesium carbonate powder that is within the formula. So that is going to handle that absorption of the sebums that we have, but we still also have hydrating ingredients. So that's why it really can be used on any skin type. All right, I just finished up my look. I just finished the other side with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm, just to kind of complete my face. Just did a little bit of bronzer and blush, put the same bronzer and blush over my eyes, and a lip liner with the same lip oil that I've been wearing. My mascara. I'll put the product details in the description, but I just wanted to kind of just complete because I also have some errands to run today and I didn't want to walk around with half a face. That's it for this video on the 3 different foundation balms that are out on the market now. So hopefully this information can not only help you decide on which one of these 3 is best for you, but as more launch, which I believe there's definitely more coming down in the pipeworks, that this same information will kind of translate. I will definitely review them as they come along, but this information really is going to be timeless and will just help you make your decision based on the other formulas that come along, unless someone creates some incredibly new technology. So this is it for our balm foundation video. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that this information kind of now lets you decide which one should I buy, which is the right one that I should choose. So hopefully you can now make that decision. Comment and let me know which one you're going to go for. And now maybe if you actually have one of these and you've been having some texture issues with the way that it's applied, go ahead and check out this video. It's on specifically how to address any texture concerns, specifically like dry and flaky textured skin, and this will definitely help you in perfecting your skin before applying your makeup. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.